cares?
No one does.
I got
Well-
my haircut for this and everything. Fine, whatever, it's fine, good.
Your haircut looks lovely.
Yeah.
so-
Thank you.
Very
I
nice, honey.
appreciate that, Miss Vivian.
Well, is this you, Ms. Griffin, that's gonna give us an update on transportation, or is that something? Oh, there's Mike, there's three.
Hey, there's three of you. It's
No,
us.
they were gonna ask for an update.
You all right?
Saying three or more gathered.
Seems like you were running. Did you run here? I'm not voting on anything either.
Two.
Well, then we
That's
will
a win.
proceed, we can either declare that we should do all of this next week and have it be heard by somebody so you can go ahead and do it, or we will proceed as with just us. Mike's going, let's go, so, okay.
All right. Janelle? You all stay, so yeah.
Oh, to start, okay. So, we were asked to give an update, what's going on with transportation. I don't know if you guys know, this is Garrett Reed. He's the new supervisor of the department. So I brought him along. We're kind of just gonna go back and forth. I brought just a few things to talk about. One of the things that our team has focused on this year was bringing down costs because our department is one of the heftiest. Apologize. So one of the things we focused on was PRT cards, and last year at this time, we spent about $32,000 of September's bill, and this year we brought it down to 21,000. So we've already saved about 10 grand in PRT, just keeping track of them. They were never kept track of before, not having so much excess, things like that. We have a really good system, coming and going, not having as many sitting. We have enough to sit in case somebody needs one, they break one, or we can move over funds. That was one of the things we focused on. We're actively monitoring our budget. We're way better than we ever have been. We keep track with the business manager, and we changed all of our alternate transportations to First Alt. So last year, we kind of had a couple different companies we were using, Kids Ride, and they were very expensive. So we went through all the finances of that, and we switched completely to First Alt, which is through First Student. So it's through the company that we use, and they're much cheaper, and they're way quicker to work with. So that's about it for finances that we're focusing on, and Garrett's gonna talk about our routing.
So a little bit about our routing, comparing our runs this year versus the prior 2 years. I pulled some numbers. We keep track of runs that have to be canceled. And so where we're at, so far this year, we've had to cancel 3 full-day runs and 2 runs just for the morning. Last year at this time, we were at 50 full-day runs, 6 AM runs, yes.
5-0.
5-0, that's 50 runs we had to cancel. You know, and it might have been the same run multiple days, but yeah, 50, and then 26 just afternoon runs. Prior year before that, 22, 23, just as an example, Propel hadn't even run yet. There wasn't even a bus for Propel. So far this year, I think we're doing pretty good with coverage. We have Myers Transportation, who's new to us this year. They're in district, they're at the intermediate building. Makes it very convenient if we have some, you know, last minute emergencies, student left behind at school, whatever, stuff like that. Kind of makes it a lot easier. Have not had to double up any runs yet this year. Last year that was a pretty consistent thing. Especially with Turtle Creek, for example, we had one bus that had to come to the school, go do its run, then double back, take another run for elementary, and it kind of big inconvenience for parents, you know, when things are inconsistent like that. So we have not, you know, fingers crossed, we haven't had to do that this year yet. Part of that is the fact that we built into each of our runs, we have a standby driver for each tier. So let's say I drive bus 400, has a high school, middle school, and an elementary school. I may have a high school, an open Dixon, and then an actual elementary run. So what that means for me is if a driver calls off from another run, I'm able to cover a Dixon run, because I don't have an actual set of kids that I pick up on a daily basis. So that is one of the reasons we haven't had to cancel a whole lot, because that's built in now, so that we can have things covered a little bit better, which makes it a lot easier, especially for the bus garage. Haven't really had to say no to any charters. We did have one that was canceled just due to a miscommunication, but in turn from that, we've had some better processes put in place, just so that, you know, double and triple check everything to make sure that we're all on the same page. We've added a Trinity bus. So Trinity, I know that was kind of a big topic for a while. We have a second bus for them now. So it's cut down run times, students are kind of split in half. We split the district up. In turn, added a Turtle Creek run, a Wilkins run, just eliminates the overcrowding and lessens the route times. And just kind of where we're at run-wise, we had 326 runs to 97 schools approximately last time. Right now, we're at about 345 runs. It does increase, especially with McKinney-Vento students, Foster students, stuff like that, kind of special ed placements, things, as the year progresses, that, sometimes increases. And we're transporting to 2 more schools, special ed schools that we haven't, so we're up to 99 schools for that.
Did I hear you say that you actually drive a bus yourself if needed?
I have,
I
yes.
think I've seen him one time.
You got it.
This year?
Good.
Not yet this year,
Not this year,
and that's
yeah.
another thing too. Last year I drove fairly consistently. I had my own bus out here and I drove all the time. And I love it. I mean, I like the elementary kids. I like getting out, it's nice. But, at the same time, if I'm out driving, that means things are not good, driver-wise. So the fact that I'm in the office is a good thing because, that means that we're covering our runs with the bus company like we're supposed to.
Just couple more positive things. We're really working on our community relationship, and we have First Student donated a bus again this year for the shuttle for the trunk or treat, and they're gonna have a haunted bus again. I know that's super popular, and we added on our route to the community Rankin Community Center because students are going there for VEX and other organizations. So we have it on a route now for the elementaries to get there. And that's about it. If there's any questions, of course.
No, so I think it's great that we're saving money, I'm cheap. But I think, 2 questions I only had.
Yeah.
So what about, are we still doing the bus monitors for a select number of buses or no? And then I'll let you answer that first.
We only have one bus monitor that's through the union here,
Okay.
and we moved her to an internal run. She's now on a Dixon and an Edgewood bus. That was, the reason why we brought back bus monitors last year.
Yeah.
So, she started actually today on that bus. We moved her off of another run to that bus, because Dixon and Edgewood seem to be the most needy on that, but we do not have any other monitors on buses at this time.
And then just a recommendation, we're talking about community relationships and things like that. Can we work on, when we talk to the boroughs about the crossing guards, just making sure they know when school starts? Bus stop, only because I can say for my area, I have 2 crossing guards and they have no idea where the stops are, they have no idea how many buses, and then they go to the borough and the borough's like, oh, well, the school doesn't tell us anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind
Yeah,
of, we have that.
Yeah, the borough I think every borough reached out at some point over the summer, and we sent them all of their stops in their district, like in their area. It's hard to say, like, what bus is gonna be at what stop, because it's forever changing.
Yeah.
Kids move, we eliminate stops, but, they do get the list of,
Because he was in
Yeah.
like one meeting, I think a parent came in talking about a concern what the stop was, it wasn't safe and things like that. So just when it's those kind of areas that we could.
yeah, we did that, the parent that did come, we did move her stop,
Perfect,
so,
okay,
we did.
those are just my 2, like,
Yeah, thank
bus
you.
monitors and making sure, since we're paying the borough, that they have people.
Yes.
Does that enable us to now have an activity bus at the high school?
We have activity buses at the high school and at Dixon. Yeah, we have 2 at the high school.
Yeah.
And 1 or 2,
2, I think.
2 at Dixon, yeah. So, they have, yes, we have them.
We had these setups.
Yeah, we had them this year. Last year was a little touch and go with a lot of, we just didn't have the drivers. So, but this year, yeah, we do.
One
Yeah.
last question, well,
That's okay.
promotion, happiness, the First View app is my best friend, love that thing. I know that only works for certain bus companies, so are the other transportation places in conversation or talk about getting something similar to what the First View app does for what First Student has that?
We have talked to them about it. I think Christ comes with a cost. The conversation that we had 2 years ago when we brought Christ on, I know that came with a cost. I don't know if that's the case now. I'm unsure about Myers, but I can definitely reach out.
Yeah,
The only vehicles that would never have them, which is ETS, which is our supplemental, but it's just vans,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, we could definitely reach out. Yeah.
and Chelsea, if we save money, will we be able, if price came back and said it was about $2,000, we'll be able to kind of throw that in there.
See, they don't really do many runs.
They do, no one does inside runs besides First Student.
Yeah.
So all of our students that go to high school, Dixon, and 3 elementaries have the first view. And it seems to be working great this year.
Yeah.
But the outside schools,
Okay.
people have asked. I know that it was a cost 2 years ago, we had this conversation, I don't know if it is now, but I can reach out again.
Okay. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Then I don't know what my laptop just did, but thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. So on, you can go if you want.
No, it's okay.
I would. Announcements. Thank you to John Boone for organizing a successful college and career fair. He and the staff involved put together an incredible morning for our students. Great job, Mr. Boone. Also, Dixon Parent Focus Group meeting to discuss the rebranding is Monday, October 21st at 6:30. I happened to see a woman in that Walmart today with a sign that said Dixon.
Madam Vice President, could I step in on Mr. Boone real quick?
Sure.
Just to add on to that, I know Ms.
I'm
Griffin
sorry, I
was
should have given you more
at the
time, yes.
fair. No, it's no worries. I know Ms. Griffin was at the fair, so clearly she can speak as well, but it was just an amazing event. We had 5 different school districts that came. We had 50 colleges and universities represented, as well as the Department of Defense Smart Scholars Program. We had several entrepreneurship programs that were represented, and every junior and senior at the high school spent at least 45 minutes. Many spent a lot longer talking to potential colleges and universities. Our own student representative now has a top 3 list because of the College Career Fair, and for being only 1 year into his position, John Boone did an amazing job. We have not had a college fair since before COVID, and we just really are impressed and cannot shout him out enough.
I agree. Attending it was interesting. Those little kids, I don't know who they thought I was, but they was just like, let me take a look. I was like, okay, wait. But they were excited about the schools. I want to say they were intrigued and to see a representation of that many students interested in going to college or even to do something after high school, and it's not based on a sport, it's based on an academic, was amazing. And I want to say also thank you to Dan. It was hot in there when we showed up, and he had the people there within, I think, 10 minutes fixing the air conditioning situation, and even the voter registration. There was one young lady, she read me, she told me about the Supreme Court, she told me about voting and why it's important, and I said, you right, girl. She made me want to vote because of how she talked. So I would say definitely was a great job, and I'm just excited to see that we did something positive, and it was not any confrontation, there was no problem, it was just a nice, happy event.
Wonderful.
So it was great.
It's my understanding that all 3 of our news stations had been informed and none of them chose to come to that.
Well, you
Of
know,
course.
we got opinions on that. So, right.
Yeah.
Laura,
Yes.
I have a quick question about the focus group for Dixon. Is that a set, I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand. Is that a set group, or is that more of an invitation for anybody to come and join?
I know Mr. Manning sent out the invitation to all Dixon parents.
Okay, great,
That is the extent of what I know.
awesome,
Yes, ma'am?
thank you.
There's nothing here about tomorrow is the fair, right? The international fair is on?
No, it's
No,
the
next
10th.
week.
Next
Thursday.
I'm sorry, I have a patient at home.
I was like, what?
My husband had an emergency surgery a couple weeks ago, so I don't know.
Happy to.
So let's get this done.
So next is special education.
Yes. So 4.1, we seek the approval to accept the settlement agreement of a former student. And 4.2, we seek approval to enter into a contract with the Western PA School for the Deaf to provide an itinerant level of support and instruction that includes a range of services. So what that is just the School for the Deaf and the School for the Blind are working together to provide services for those students who attend the School for the Deaf, we have a particular student who is hard of hearing and blind. So it's just contracting those services for that student.
And if I'm recalling correctly, Dr. Stagna would say that is in order to provide services for that student and not a monetary payout to.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely correct.
Okey-dokey. Pupil personnel?
All right, I have two. First one is we seek approval to renew the contract with HSAO as proposed. We have been working with HSAO now, I believe, for like 5 years. And they have proven to be one of the vital services that we need for our students who are in that tier 3 level, our families who are in that tier 3 level. They provide service coordination to our families, and we definitely just wanted to see it continuing in our district, so. Then 5.2, we seek permission to participate in the PA Student Teacher Support Program. This is a really cool program that basically pays teachers. I wish I had this when I was in school. But they pay teachers up to teachers can be paid up to $15,000 to student teach, yes. So it's $10,000 as a set pay. And then if you student teach in a high needs area, like ours will be considered that, you get an additional $5,000. And then on top of the students, or the students getting the up to $15,000, the teachers actually get a $2,500 stipend as well. So it's a really cool program. Nothing we have to do other than we filled out the application and all the documents, and that's it.
That's fine.
Hi.
Okay.
Going back to the HSO,
I know it's a tongue twister, HSAO.
Okay. HSAO, that's not ever what I want to say. I knew I had a question, which is, what school buildings do?
The entire district.
Okay, so, right, and it's not, so it seems like the way the contract is written, that it's for one staff person?
Yeah, so we have one full-time staff person who works with all of our families. So the slots are very limited, and because they are district-wide, and they provide support to our families, service coordination and support to our families.
And so those are students that would get referred to them?
Yes, so it is a referral process. There's typically a waiting list for it because we have many students in need. But excellent service to our students.
Awesome, thank you.
No questions from anyone else? We will be jumping down to buildings and grounds.
Okay, so today I have a couple things to talk about. I'm not sure what order they're in because whatever I have printed here.
Your vehicles are first.
Vehicles are first, okay. So next week, I'm gonna be asking permission to purchase a new Ford F-350 Super Duty truck to take over a couple of broken down trucks that are in our fleet presently. The one that's broken down is a 2014, and it has emissions problems with the diesel. It's been money pit. Like it's been throw money at it and it can't fix it. Can't fix it. It's $10,000 to fix it right now. So we've had money allocated to buy a new truck. I think we had like 60,000, and I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the proposals from Megan Ford, Shorkey Ford, and Kenny Ross Ford. And Kenny Ross will be the winner. They're the lowest proposal for the exact same specification on each individual proposal. I sent them all the same specification, so everybody had the same towing package, the same plow package, the same power locks and windows, what have you. Same engine, same suspension, so there was no variations. Everything was apples to apples. And with the truck, that's pretty easy to do. And the reason, even though Kenny Ross is the lowest, they've been really good to us with servicing our pickups that are still under warranty and whatnot, or ones that First Student can't handle in their shop. So, any questions on buying a new truck? It's been quite some time since we bought one. The last time we bought a utility type truck would be 2017. Now, somewhere along the lines, there was a couple other trucks that were purchased. One for like the boss's truck, and then a quad cab, so you could take more than 2 people in a truck and go to a job site, which is more efficient than having 5 trucks show up at a job site when you could put 5 men in the same truck and you have a bed and you know, you could put all your equipment in and whatnot. So we're looking to buy this Ford pickup truck, and it'll be one of our saving graces because hopefully the winters stay as mild as they have, but it's kind of tough. There's a lot of war wounds on a lot of our soldering equipment and whatnot. We're gonna be looking to buy a new bed for our dump truck, cause it's rusted out. But it's lasted 12 years. And putting salt in it every year and letting salt sit in it in the garage on the ready, so you don't know if the parking lot's gonna flash freeze. You know, I started at 4 in the morning for several years, just to be on the ready, so I wouldn't be up at 3 in the morning looking for snow, 4 in the morning looking for snow. I just started at 4. That way we could get everybody in safely. So we already have it all lined up, and I'll be asking your permission to vote on it next week.
Quick question.
Sure.
Are these 33, it says 33, was that where it was? What size tires are these, 33? Off-road? They're off-road tires that you're getting here for
What,
$1,000 on Kenny Ross Ford.
on Kenny Ross's?
Yeah, and then, what is the XL Crown package that they're offering? And then.
This is all the items that come with. This is all standard. It's like, you know the sticker that you see when you go
Yeah.
to the
I'm
lot?
trying to understand
They just
now.
give you a breakdown of what each and every piece and part would be. It's the exact same thing when you walk up and you go look at the sticker in the showroom at a Mustang or a Bronco.
Yeah, because I'm trying to, when they give us a $5,000 discount,
Well, they're giving
kind
us
of
the
look at
discounts because
destination fee, tires.
the school entity. I mean, at the end of the day, there's 3 different dealers from 3 different demographics, Fayette County, Allegheny County, and
Yeah.
Westmoreland County. So you really can't argue the prices being as close as they are. But I understand what you mean. I'm a little, you know, I could inquire with the salesman about that.
Yeah, because it's a 2025, the other one's a 2024, which is more
Well, the one-
expensive than it's like.
The thing was that nobody could bid the 2024s after I got the first quote from Kenny Ross because the 25s were coming out in a week.
Mhm.
And they were all sold off the lots. They would have to go to other dealerships and say, hey, can we buy that truck off you so that we could sell it to this entity? Okay. Any other questions? No? All right. So the next thing I have is just an update on some of the construction at Edgewood. I'm sure everybody's excited to hear about. Well, we know that the front of the building pops with the trees down and the cleanliness of the brick. When you drive by that building, it just stands out and says hello. And it's such beautiful architecture, like 1891, 1953. The 76, you know, I don't know what those people were thinking back then, but the 2 old buildings are beautiful buildings, you know, with the crown molding, and that tower is still in the process of getting cleaned and pointed. That used to have the old crest that said Edgewood School District. It fell off when Len Nowicki was here, and who knows where it went to. It'd be nice to have that, because that's kind of like, you know, an archive type of thing, but it's long gone. We still have, in the 1891, there's, you know, you have your bronze plaques and you have your aluminum plaques that say school board members, the building erected dates, and then any kind of remodeling they did. The one that's in the 1891 section is clay. Yeah, it's clay. It's crazy. It's a really neat placard. If you ever get a chance to just stop in to, who's the new assistant over there now, got me confused. Dr. Collins. Yeah, yeah. It's in her office, actually, where the front of 1891 building is, and that's where the tower is. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna look a lot better once it's completely done. They're working on the pointing, building C, which is the 1953. The pointing's all done, but they're working on the rusted window lintels. They're still doing that. Now, there's been a lot of complaints about noise, but the parking lot in the back, where the noise was coming from while they were jackhammering up the old asphalt. It's all gonna be paved this coming Monday. We had a couple bad days with the rain this week, obviously. But I walked around the buildings and I say buildings, plural, because it's 3 buildings, you know, it's one campus, but it's 3 buildings. All the means of egress are in place, all the signage is in place. They packed down some really good, I forget what size limestone, but I walked on it in dress shoes, I had no problem getting through. So then building A, they're still working on the kindergarten, you know, pointing, and then we're waiting on the steel to be delivered so they can put the steel supports in and put all the brick around the bottom courses of the building. But I'd also like to offer is if any one of you would want to reach out to me and I could take you on a tour and show you what's going on over there as well. Nothing interior has been done, with exception to they are putting unit ventilators in. The things, when I had the gentleman here from Train, were saying that the lead time on and the supply chain on, because every school in America uses the same sort of units. Well, they got some in and they're starting to put them in place. And Ms. Mans is, you know, detouring or what have you, her children and teachers into different classrooms so that they can do these 3 and then they move them over here. It's painstaking. It's something I talk about all the time, but at the end of the day, this painstaking effort is going to be, that's good. The children for years to come are going to have a nice place to go to school. They really are. It's going to be a beautiful building. Like I said, just driving by now and seeing how clean the brick looks from the pictures that I had showed you months and months and months ago, and the dirt and the soot on that beautiful limestone and sandstone, it's all cleaned up, and the terracotta molding, we're still working on some of the terracotta, but it's really coming together. I mean, it's still gonna be, you know, 2 years probably before 100% interior and everything is cleaned up, because we're gonna have what they call punch lists. And I was saying for years when I was in the maintenance gang, because I was in construction for so long, and they put a punch list on me, and you gotta go back and fix this, you gotta go back and fix this. I'm gonna do my due diligence to make sure that we do not get hammered and I find out 6 months later, which would still be under warranty because we get a year on construction warranty regardless. That's not counting, like the air conditioners will have a longer warranty, the roof will have a longer warranty, but the physical manpower that put that brick on the wall, the brick looks a little funky or mortar fell out, they're gonna come back and fix that. I am gonna fine tooth comb punch list, and they're not gonna like me. They're definitely not gonna like me because I'm gonna go through it, and I know what to look for. I absolutely know what to look for. That's the kind of things that are even just cosmetic that the layman that's not part of the construction trades doesn't see. Like something as simple as the little slots that are at the end of these light fixtures where they had to like put the ceiling tile in and it's incomplete. You know what I mean? Stuff like that that normal people just don't see. So any questions or any other leads that I could help you with?
Suggestion. Can you speak about the trees in front of the building and the plan for the trees?
Well, you know, we went to the planning commission, Dr. C and I, and the architect and the engineer. They're gonna plant so many trees out there, yes, they're not 100-year-old oaks, that actually some of them were sickly, and some of them were gonna be sickly. The one that we were gonna plan on leaving, the root system would have been compromised. We had an arborist come out and you know, give us an explanation, and we proposed that and showed that to the Edgewood Borough Council people and the tree people and the planning commission for Edgewood. And their solicitor went with it. No, we have some things that we have to follow through with to our end of the bargain, which we're gonna follow through it. The construction management team that's down there has not failed me one time, besides the noise. Well, you can't help noise with construction, it's just not gonna go away. But the trees are gone, and I don't have plans, but I could bring some plans maybe next week. I could talk to Felix, and there would be the landscape plans or the site plans. And the landscape plans will show shrubbery and new trees that are going in. There's gonna be more trees replanted than there was that we took down. Now, granted, they're huge.
But they were sickly, so they would have.
Yeah, and you know what, after all the years of me being here and, you know, the traffic jams and the safety issues of the cars on the roads, I just think it looks so much more open and more beautiful. It really does. The trees are beautiful. The giant oaks and maples like that, those kind of trees they're gorgeous, away in a field.
Well, that was gonna be my question. What did they do with those trees?
BJ tree removal, they're splitting that all up for firewood. Some of it maybe have some nice board feet of some stuff they could plane down and sell to a real lumber yard and make some nice oak furniture out of and whatnot. I can't say that I have any clue of what goes on the second side of a tree removal if it's a pretty tree, like a black walnut. A black walnut that has no branches that come out for 50, 60 to 100 feet are worth $25,000, $35,000. They'll buy it off of your property. That's how much a black walnut tree is worth. Now, those weren't black walnuts, but nice oak furniture is still pretty. That's what my dining room set's old oak from the 50s. My grandma actually.
Oh, my God.
It really was, it really is.
Oh,
6:32, Danny. I love it.
Okay, I'm lost.
We don't have to bring it next week, but if we could just let the community know, as we were saying, the trees were a part of people's lives and our part, we do have plans to make it look better, like they can do that.
I can bring
So
plans.
slices of them.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. It would be nice if there could be like some of the wood salvaged and make a bench or something.
Okay. We're gonna get through this without having Eddie have to speak. School finance, ma'am.
You skipped Ty.
I did?
Yeah.
I did. I'm so sorry,
It's okay.
Ty.
It's not important.
I forgive you.
No, but we're just looking to approve an official athletics handbook that will publicize on our website. That includes our expectations, policies, procedures, emergency action plan, eligibility requirements, criteria for winning awards at the end of the school year, things like that. So anything that you can think of that has to do with athletics, we have in that handbook, like almost 130 pages. So there's a lot of information.
I read the whole thing.
But there's a table.
Wait,
of
how many
contents.
pages is it?
It's like
It's I should get you to be my editor for my dissertation. You read 132 pages.
But there's a table
I mean,
of
that's just
contents
a
in there. so
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can-
there's
You're
probably
right.
really 119, 18 pages of text. They're not all full pages.
Okay.
But like, it was serious though,
I mean, that's
I
fine.
have my English writing degree, so I have notes, boy do I have notes.
Okay.
I will give them to you
Okay.
in an email, because they would just take forever and
Sounds
Sarah, am I hearing you saying you have notes?
oh, I do.
I just have one question. So if I were to compare the current athletic guide to this, I can see the changes. Or Sarah, did you do that already?
I didn't do that yet, I
Did you
didn't
do
get
that
to,
part?
the
You didn't highlight?
the third one, took all my time.
I'll be honest,
I'll get to the other one.
I've never seen the current athletics handbook if there is one.
It's good
So-
journalism.
The one that's brand new?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the first. You're the first.
Gotcha.
So I do have one question, sorry, did you have another one?
Nope, I'm good.
I did have another question about, is this something like the student handbook where you'll be asking the students to like sign it to show that they're like?
No, we won't have the students sign it. That's just kind of like the standard of, what we're looking to have. On top of that, every team has their own expectations. For example, our eligibility requirements at 2.0, our swim team might require a 3.0. That's just their team requirements. So they'll sign off on whatever their team expectations are, but this is just kind of like the baseline of what we have going on in athletics.
Yes, page everyone's gonna jump to 88 in the eligibility requirement.
Can I ask a question that is not related to this, but is a question for you, Chad? Is there a new volleyball coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A new what?
Volleyball.
Girls volleyball coach.
And girls play football, right?
Yeah, we should be, hopefully we're gonna be coming to you guys to implement a official girls flag football coach and assistant coach, so.
Nice.
Because PIAA made an official sport, so we're excited about that.
Is it-
My daughter can't even be allowed.
It is, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just want to let you
Scholarships for the next 4 years. Okay, now it's me. Now,
The only two things I have this week are, it's the same gas, it's for natural gas. We are part of the consortium with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit. All the school districts in Allegheny County, all 43 of them, we pull together and they do pricing for our natural gas, and you sign a 3-year contract. This is just an extension of that. It's up this October, and they want us to sign a new one until 2028. So they do all the legwork and we get the best gas price for that. So,
Okay.
so I just need those agreed to and signed.
Well, the attached slide comes from me. And that's just a reminder for me, especially the school board members, that we're not, to not give each other gotchas, but the board members that are here are diligent about asking questions. I just want to remind all the school board members, we have this thing from last Friday till weeks from now, so we should be asking you our questions beforehand, not you. We should be asking them our questions beforehand, and I noticed that some of the emails had slowed down with us asking questions. So to remind all of our board members, ask our questions beforehand so that people aren't surprised at a meeting.
Believe it or not, I didn't actually have questions last time. That's why I didn't email it.
Well,
It was strange. It was strange.
well, it's just good to have, it's not like a political debate where they have to be able to rattle things off the top of their heads. We should be able to ask our professionals to go look things up and give them a chance to answer it before. And then the legislative meeting should just be, yeah, we've talked about it, we have any answers, we come in, we vote, we go. So that was just no gotchas, but everybody that's here knows that. So is there anything else you want to add? Can I declare this meeting closed?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.